Hello everyone, thank you guys for watching this video and coming back to my channel. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with this video. There's a lot to talk about and I wanna keep it as short and as simple and as informative as possible. With that being said, just a quick disclaimer, I am in no way a licensed therapist. I am not a psychologist. I don't have a degree in psychology, but mental health is something that I have discovered and I am very passionate about now because I was not in the best mental state I could have been these past couple of years. So the month of May is considered Mental Health Awareness Month. What is mental health awareness? So mental health is the cognitive, behavioral, and emotional well-being of one person. So that refers to how people think, feel, and behave. Mental health can affect relationships, everyday life, just your well-being in general. So I wanted to shed light on this because not a lot of people take it into consideration. Breakups are usually breakups to some people, friendships are usually just friendships to some people, but this is something that's so much deeper than that we know and that we think, because you're just going through everyday life, not thinking about your own mental state when it could affect you in the long run. And it did affect me in the long run because I had barely just noticed all these kind of things that were weighing so heavily on me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the story side of this video. I have been seeing a therapist and she's brought a lot into my mind that I have never thought about. So I'm gonna say through this video a lot that I was just a body going through the everyday motions of life. So I was literally just there, but my mind was not there. My body was there, my mind wasn't there. So I'm gonna say that a lot through this video. But the first year that I am on the team, this person is already on their second year of the team. Okay, so it's me editing on my Mac. Whenever I say this person, I am talking about my ex. I couldn't upload the full 15-minute video because it wouldn't let me. So that's kind of just like the backstory, what I talked about before. I had to delete it, but that's what I'm talking about. We start talking throughout the summer. We're going through summer training all together, and summer training was very intense along with the stuff that I had just been going through with the car and like with my phone and stuff. I had to start working to pay for my own things. Like, this is whenever I finally started to learn, like, I gotta work for my own stuff. Nobody can take it away but me. So this whole time we're talking throughout the summer, and I don't ever ask like, what are we gonna be, because we're just talking at this point. And August happens, school starts, we're still talking. September happens, we're still talking. October happens, we're still talking. And I was so done being in the talking phase of a relationship that I could not handle it anymore. So if I keep looking down, I'm looking at these notes. I have planned this video for so long and I kind of just want to stay on track. I know the amount of impact that this video can have, with people who know who I'm talking about. It can hurt people's images, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to, give a negative opinion about a team. I'm not trying to give a negative opinion about my ex. That is not what I'm trying to do. This is just like my own personal experience. So I do want you guys to note that, there's always two sides to every story. I say that all the time. This is just my side, and you're only listening to my side. I finally asked this person, what are we? And I remember I would just cry to my teammates. We went to a parking garage almost every night and cried. We either went to Whataburger and cried, or we went to the parking garage and cried in the car. This is how straining it was on me, just being in this same, repeat of talking and talking and talking and, cutting my life off, not talking to other people to talk to this person. So I was just kind of overwhelmed and done with it. I remember I asked, what are we? This person said we were just friends. So that's whenever I was just like, I can't do this anymore, guys. Come November is whenever my ex asks me out finally. And after 2 long years of me crushing on this person and talking to this person for so long, we are dating now. So I was very overwhelmed and I was thrilled at this because this had been my first relationship. I had never been asked out before. I'd never asked anybody out before. November, December, January, February, March. March is competition season, so we were all kind of stressed out. The whole team was. And I dropped a lot for this relationship. Stuff happened at competition that was very traumatizing to me, individually to me. And we come back, we're not on the best terms. We are still talking for a month and a half after that. Then we break up. The breakup was not what hurt me. The aftermath of the breakup and everything that happened after, that is kind of like what caused me to go in, I guess you could say, like a downward spiral. Being in the same friend group and like seeing this person almost every now and then, and you know, I had felt so, and people tell me this all the time, whenever I love hard, and I could not handle it. I would see this person, I would get anxiety because I like all the memories that, you know, we had in the breakup, like just played through my mind the whole time. And I was a body going through the everyday motion of life and going through the routine of everyday life. I would go to work, you know, I would try to put it in the back of my mind, and it wasn't until like Leah, I remember it had just happened. Leah is one of my best friends. Like, you guys will probably see her in another video. You probably saw her in Vlogmas, but she was there for a lot of it. I remember like the day after the breakup, like I was at work and I was just zoned out, like trying so hard not to focus on it. And she was like, "What's wrong?" And immediately just broke down because I couldn't handle it. And she was going through something at the time, so like we both kind of just went through it together. And then the next year happens. This person isn't on the team, I'm on the team, and I'm with our friends, and we go through a year, you know, I'm still kind of like not thinking about it. October, November was whenever I was, you know, out almost every night, almost every single weekend, going out to the club and going to parties, like Halloween parties and everything. And like I was just so focused on not thinking about it that I wanted to get out. As this party happens and I break down, this is like my breaking point. This is whenever I realized like there was so much wrong that I held in, that I just let go that night, and it kind of just impacted my friends, and like I had said some stuff that I'm not proud of, but you know, you live and you learn. So then November happens. I finally, like, you know, that's the time, like I'm like, okay, like I'm not okay. And I never wanted to be like that friend that like weighed my problems on everybody. I had always been the person that people bring their problems to, so I can tell them advice, you know, have a shoulder to cry on. So it was just weird, like that being flipped in reverse, and I was crying on people's shoulders left and right. I was always asking for advice. Like, it was so weird to me. Through all this, I had lost my job at the job that I had kept for like almost a year and a half. I started working at a new job as a server, and that was a no-go. So that's like what happened in November. December turns around, I get a new position as a seasonal sales associate. So throughout this whole time, like I was just working and hanging out with my friends, coming home, then thinking about, you know, how hurt I was after. I had never thought about it throughout the day. I had always put it to the back of my mind. January happens, everything's okay, you know, I'm on the team, everything's fine. February happens, and this is whenever you finally get into the why I stopped dancing part of this video. So February happens. I had been posting stuff on Twitter, Instagram, you know, stuff just like, you know, dealing with my heartbreak, because people handle it differently. You know, I've always taken to social media to handle my kind of feeling. So at this point, like I was already feeling all the emotions of the breakup and everything, and it took almost like 9 months after for me to realize like I was still hurt by this. You know, Twitter can be your best friend, Twitter can be your worst enemy, and in this case it was my worst enemy. So I posted something, I'm not going to kind of go into detail about it, just know that I posted something and I am not proud of it, but I learned from my mistake, took it down. You know, it wasn't the best thing that I could have posted as a collegiate dancer, but you know, you live and you learn. So I remember getting called into the office to talk about this, and that's whenever I was taken out of the competition. That is my dog. So that is whenever I was taken out of the competition routines, and that was kind of like a very, like, I had to step back. And you know, whenever somebody's talking to you, like telling you news, and you're just like watching them, their lips are moving and you're not hearing anything, it's just like blank, but their lips are moving. Like, that's what I kind of like was feeling. So I remember just sitting in the chair and just like hearing all this go on. You know, you're not going to be in game days, you're not going to be in the routines, like you can still go to nationals, you're just not going to compete. It was just like a very like good wake-up call to me. That's whenever I finally, like, to this day, like I realized I was not okay, and I was not in the best mental state that I could have been. Again, I was a body dancing, I was a body working, and I was a body going through everyday motions of life. So hearing that, I remember just saying like, okay, I'm gonna stay. Like, I remember just saying like, I'm gonna stay. It's totally fine. Like, I can handle this. So then a week later, I had just been kind of getting people's opinions, like telling me like, dude, why are you still there? Like, you're working for nothing. And at the same time, like, I was like, no, like, I want to dance. Like, dance has been the only thing that has been going for me for so long, coming in and out of studios whenever I was younger, stopping and then dancing in high school. Dance has only been like kind of like the driving force for me, but at the same time, like, I know that it's the only thing I have going for me. Like, it was hard not dancing, and either way, if I stayed, I wasn't gonna dance. If I left, I wasn't gonna dance. So finally, like, through all this, I kind of thought to myself, and I realized like I had to leave. Like, I had to just end it there. I couldn't drag it on longer, and I made the decision for myself. A lot of people, think that it was because of this and this and this. Like, no, I made the decision for myself. I was barely like coming into terms with my mental state that I left the team, and it was a very hard time for me. Some teammates were like very like, it's okay, like, it's gonna be fine, but at the same time, like, it felt like they were slowly drifting from me, which was hard because I had only ever had them from the first year and then the breakup. So it was just very hard for me, and we're in the same friend group as my ex, so that was very hard for me too. I felt like betrayed by them sometimes, but I never spoke on it because I didn't want them to choose sides. Finally, one time I chose for them, and I unouted them on Snapchat and stuff, and it caused a lot of kind of drama and commotion, but I did it for my own well-being. And I know that, deep down, I needed to do it for my own benefit, leaving the team, because I just couldn't do it anymore. I was so exhausted. I had gone through like a whole year and a half of like just putting things in the back of my mind that it had barely came to light, and I needed to act on it. I wasn't in the best state. So that's whenever I finally realized like mental health was such an important thing that we all should think about, and that is why I stopped dancing. And I'm very proud of myself to this day. It kind of sucks that I don't dance. I was very on schedule with, waking up, going to practice, eating after with all my teammates and friends. And then whenever I left the team, like, it felt so weird not being around all of them, and I would see them, and, some of them wouldn't say hi to me, so it just felt like I just wasn't their friend anymore. I still care about them to this day, and whether they take this as a negative or just me speaking about it, I still care about them, like I said, but that part of my life is over and done with, and I don't want any part in it at all. Like, it was a very dark state, and I'm not saying it to be like negative or anything. It was just a very dark point, very rock bottom point in my life, and I don't want to be associated with it anymore. Before I start crying, it's just a lot. And maybe down the line I can go into full detail. I just know that I wanted to keep a lot of things, private and very low key for now. I didn't say a lot of information because I do know the impact it can have on people around me. Some people know who I'm talking about, some people don't. So I just want to keep everything as positive as possible, but I just wanted to shed light on why I stopped dancing and my mental health journey. With that being said, I hope you guys take into consideration where your mental state is at. Yeah, I'm not proud of some things, but at the same time, I'm so proud of myself for, stopping something I cared so much about. But I needed to do it for my own benefit and my own mental state. But yeah, so I hope you guys take this as a positive. There's no drama, there is no nothing. If I see them to this day, I will talk to them. I'm not gonna hold a grudge. But yeah, so I hope you guys see this as a positive, and it doesn't change your opinion on team stuff or, the person who I could be talking about if you know. So yeah. But with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. Thank you guys for listening to my mental health journey and why I stopped dancing. So bye guys.